Good evening, viewers. You're welcome back on this platform. This is BVI Channel 1, and I still remain as Chinedu Peters. Tonight on GGM Hour, where we advocate for good governance. And top of all our stories today is the impeachment attempt that happened at Cross Rivers and the fight that follows. And also the minimum wage battle between the federal government and the Nigerian workers, and narrowing it down to Anambra State, the position of the governor and the loggerhead with the NLC. If you're just watching, make sure you are sharing this video and you can join us on this live interactive section, because this is an opportunity for you to let your voice be heard. Let's take these very stories, and when I come back, we'll open up the lines and also bring in our guest and fellow analyst on this program tonight. So you stick there. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
That claimed the life of about 4 persons. I lost over 9 million, but also today, nothing has been done. So, Mr. Speaker, I am very, very aggrieved. That is the more reason that I, on the relation of America, representing Calabar South, was 51. Based on that, I want to invoke Section 92, Sub 2C, for the removal of the Speaker of the Federal State. That's it. I still move. Mr. Oman, I represent the Speaker of the Federal. I hereby second the motion as moved.
The rift between organized labor and Anambra state government is beginning to take a new turn, with the Nigeria Labour Congress calling out the state as one of the states owing workers. According to Benson Oppa, head of the Department of Information, Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, who was on the morning show yesterday and insisted that Anambra state is the worst payer of minimum wage.
Anambra state is one of the worst, if not the worst, wage payer. I keep saying this. You know, the national minimum wage is not synonymous with the pay packages or the pay structures adopted by the states. Each state pays according to their capacity, their pay structure. I keep using this example. In Benue State, a chief, that is a level 14 officer, earns more than a level 16 officer in Anambra State. And I hope the governor is watching and listening. I'm waiting for anybody to say what you are saying is a lie. So Anambra does not value its workers. It does not value what they call dignity of labor. So it is one of the states that is observing this law in breach, and that is the reason why we have said the workers in the state should mobilize for action.
This episode is just what you just watched now, and joining me right now will be the discussant and ambassador to good governance, and also the village economist in the person of Ndubisi and Enugu. Ndubisi and Enugu will be joining me virtually on this program, while you who are watching can also join me by calling this program live through 0810-4545-533. That's the number to call to make your submission known with respect to the discussion of tonight on GGM Hour. And this program is dedicated to good governance advocacy. So, what is your take with respect to this very issue, the fight that erupted during the section at what do you call it? The state assemblies at Cross River State. Let us take this call that is coming in very quickly. Hello? Hello? I think we are going to drop the call and bring you back later so that we don't get ourselves distracted. The numbers to call remain +234-810-4545-533 if you want to join this conversation. And it's going to be very brief as well. So we're talking about the impeachment attempt at the Cross River State Assemblies. The fight that erupted there is not a new thing in the Nigerian political scene. You know, it is almost becoming a boxing theater across Nigeria, up to the Abuja National Assembly, where we witness boxing among legislators, as we call them, lawmakers, whom many Nigerians prefer to call lawbreakers. That's by the way. Now, the second story, which is the main story for tonight, is the minimum wage, because that is the boiling point of what is happening in Nigeria today. The inflation is high, the people are suffering, but the government is just offering a mega 54,000 naira minimum wage and narrowing it down to state governments that are actually offering 54,000 naira or even below that. In fact, from the news we just discussed now, it is the Anambra State Labour Congress. The spokesman came forward to accuse Anambra State government of even paying below the minimum wage, which is totally unacceptable by the Labour Congress. And joining me already is Ndubisi and Enugu, who will be highlighting on the implication of what the man said at Arise TV, which is making round. I think the government of Anambra State have reacted to that, but we want the reaction of GGM ambassadors and you also that is watching, your own submission to all of this, because together we are, making or creating an environment, a community of people of sound mind who will definitely. You can unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chinedu.
Okay, good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Chinedu.
So, let's get your opinion with respect to what we're talking about before we bring your picture up. I think we're having some mix-up, but go ahead.
All right, Chinedu. Thank you, my dear brother. And
we can't see you. We can't see you. I think you are off.
Can you speak? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You can see me too?
Yes. I'm about to bring you the viewership of our followers and those who are watching. You can go on.
Shall I speak? All right, Chinedu. Standing in between the gap for the people. This true, not accommodated. Those who stand are always alone. they operate alone. This is a system that rewards impunity. This is a system that discourages hardworking people or speaking the truth to the power. Having said that, on the subject under discussion, minimum wage requested or demanded by the Nigerian workforce. At the last count, Labour is asking for 600, if I'm correct, and they actually gave out the, what the things that make up that figure. The variables that make up that figure. They didn't manufacture the figure from the moon. But government on their own side, agreed to pay labor 48,000 naira. Later on, they shifted to 54,000 naira, just like that, without indicating how that will work out for average working class person. Speaking from the GGM point of view, as a good governance ambassador point of view, I will always ask for a productive labor force and a reward system that will motivate and encourage productivity. Chinedu, are you there?
Yeah, sure. We can hear you, and the world can hear you already. Village economist. Go on.
What I said I will always go for a productive workforce, whether government level or federal level. At the same time, I will go for a reward system that will encourage productivity. These two components are missing in Nigerian society. To start with, we don't have a functional federal system of government. What we have is a central government that has so wickedly and so determined to hold the resources of Nigeria and shared such resources among themselves, their families, their girlfriends, and their friends. That is the present situation we have. And the rest of Nigerians, the working class, the ordinary, the business class, are left in the cold, are left to struggle for themselves for survival. That is the unfortunate situation we find ourselves. So to start with, I will not be party to this negotiation or support anybody to negotiate. If you pay an average worker 615,000 naira, what happens to the village old man who does not have access to government work, whose only source of income is manual labor, or who go to the farm to make his daily bread, and without income coming in, he will not eat? What goes to the ordinary to trader in the market? I know that traders can always jack up their prices, increase their prices, in rest increase in workers' salary. So the fact is that we do not have a system. To start with having a functional system, the right federal system of government must be put in place. Secondly, we must enforce our population law, as in every Nigerian should be entered in database. Every Nigerian should be entered in database from time of birth to the time of death, meaning that if a child is born today, his statistics, his biometric statistics should be uploaded in national data if we are called a country or a nation. Of course, we are not a nation state. We are just managing to be a country. If anybody dies today, the biometric data has to go there and remove the person's name. So this is the starting point of building a nationhood.
Let me cut in there. Sorry about that, because the point you raised, so that people who are watching and following us will understand the background where we are coming from. Talking about the minimum wage, the position of the federal government, and also we are going to narrow it down to Anambra State and the loggerhead between Soludo and the labor force in Anambra State. Okay, then all of this is all about good governance, and GGM advocacy is all about good governance advocacy, and that's exactly what we're doing right here. You talked about data, why data is important for a balanced economic activity, especially at this point in Nigeria. It becomes very critical. Talking about inflation, talking about government ghost workers. That is where the data will play a huge role, so that government will not be overpaying staff, or people in public service will use that ghost worker stuff. You know the arrangement now. Many ghost workers collecting salaries, entering in the private purses of public servants. That's really what you're trying to address, village economist. Am I in line?
Yeah, Chinedu, that's correct. But outside that, my proposition is that labor should be rewarded, and at the same time, labor should be made to be productive. These are the two things I'm projecting.
Okay, all right. Now, that's one angle. Now, going down to, because when you say 54, although you said that, how do you want justify 54,000 naira? And some on the other part, we say, as an economist and as a banker before, you say okay, or people will say, oh, it will cause inflation if you go by what the Labour Congress are asking for. It will cause inflation where we have too much money in the market, in circulation, and few goods to buy. So it will cause triple inflation. Already Nigeria is facing a multiple inflation rate. Now, do we see, you can agree with me that these politicians in power who are proposing 54,000 naira for an average Nigerian worker, they are collecting maximum wage for not being productive at all. Because this is the case of monkey they walk, baboon they shop. So how do you react to that as an economist? Then we'll now go down to productivity, placing it side by side with the wage. Go on.
Chinedu, thank you. You know, I seriously, I don't want to go to that line of level asking for 615,000 naira, because I know it's not possible. This is ridiculous. This is joke. They are just joking, you know, because if you pay 615,000 naira, what of those of us in private sector? What of these the people in Onisha Chinedu paying their workers 25,000 naira to 30,000 naira? How do you enforce that? All of people in different contract work. I know contract workers in bank. 90% of staffers you see in an average banking branch today is contract staff. On average salary of less than 100,000 naira. How do you go there and enforce it? Assuming government has all the resources to pay 600,000 naira, how do you enforce other privately owned companies to pay even 200,000 naira minimum wage? No, it's not possible. And again, government, negotiating for 54,000 naira, again, it's not possible. You know, it's not 54,000 in the current economic reality. You know, is not enough to take anybody home. A cleaner in the office is not enough to take anybody home. You know, if I should just argue on that line, you know, I can conveniently say 150,000 naira, give and take, is understandable. But you know, I said I don't want to go to that side. You know, now ask me which side I want to go as a village economist, as somebody who understands the dynamics of the system and how it works. You know, I will not go into negotiating something on can go together. This is
I think we had some glitches on the network, and it is still happening. Bear with us as we hope to get it working again. Okay, go on.
Children, can you hear me?
Yeah. Network was playing hide and seek with us. Go on.
So I said, in reality, what one is expected to do is honest negotiation. You know, it is all about calling the stakeholders to the right table. Let's discuss the issues. We have to discuss the issues that what are the root cause of the problem? Fuel. When Tinubu came on board, he said no subsidy, gone. And from 200 naira or 187 naira or 220 naira, as case may be, the cost of PMS, DPK, and AGO increased to the high heavens. PMS increased from 200 or 230 naira to all-time 700 to 800 naira. It's laughable. My brother, is laughable. It's ridiculous. Seriously. Somebody is funny somewhere just because of where God. Which kind of madness is that? There is no economic theory or explanation that will give you that. In fact, if you will be deceiving your students if you tell
hot up. NWC.
This is ridiculous, to say the least.
Miracle economy. Will you classify that as miracle economy?
Like I said, who don't all the stakeholders to the round table? And to be honest, you have to open up to them. You have to tell them, see. We have to solve this. And how do we solve this? Overnight, I will fire all the NNPC senior directors. All of them. I'll use broom, remove all of them. In fact, I will send them to jail. Seriously, it's not the issue of laughing. It's not the issue of this is APC member, or this is my friend, or this is not my friend. If you want to restore sanity in the system, because oil revenue still to a very large extent gives Nigeria up to 90% source of revenue to Federation account. So we should not joke with that sector alone at all. We shouldn't joke with that sector at all. So to start with, once you get the stakeholders, the next day you fire all the oil directors and everybody and all the contractors in that sector and say, let's start all over again. As you are sacking them, because of course you must have made arrangements for their replacement on people who can tell Nigerians the home truth. You know, I do not understand why turnaround maintenance of refineries will take a lifetime. I do not understand why the Nigerian soldiers will be going to arrest those who are refining crude oil in the name of illegal refineries. See, the obvious and immediate thing government will do is to rehabilitate those guys, restore them, and recognize what they're doing. If they're not getting it right, train them and put them on, invest money there, give them money, and they will get it right. After all, we refine our crude oil in drilling in the world. Why are they making these things rocket science? This is the key thing for that Nigeria speaking grammar. No, no, no.
Okay, network is really bad. It's just going up and down. Nothing is quite stable in this country anyway. It's really terrible. But we hope to navigate through this turbulence all on the flight. Now, NDBC, let us now draw it down to Anambra State very quickly and briefly before we conclude on this conversation. Anambra State Governor, first class government in Nigeria in terms of applying minimum wage. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Are you saying that Anambra State Governor is the worst? Or is that what you're saying?
That's what the Man and Arise television program said. That Anambra State is the worst in terms of payment of minimum wage. And the position of the governor seems to be like he is
you are faced with multiplicities of variables, each one playing to outplay the other one. And as a professor, he hardly listens and pay attention to little people like us who might come up with funny ideas, So that is the problem with a state like Anambra State. Soludo knows that a lot. So many people have respect of his person, and a lot is being expected. In fact, the expectation is heavenly. People expect what I expected to get. It's just like each talk like this. Say over 100, not 20. How do you know 20? I hope I'm not also survive. Things are not done like that in 21st century. So Ludo himself said, if you can't measure performance, don't do it. If you cannot measure those seasoning you are giving out, why giving it out? It's not like I'm saying that my professor doesn't know what he's doing, but I won't choose that policy direction. That is what I'm saying. I will not choose that policy direction. Rather, I will do. I'm not saying again that what will be successful. But when all of them are facing their private businesses, just like doctors they have their private clinics. If you go to AMAC to receive ordinary medication, you'll be frustrated. You will just be frustrated. Or many of them will refer you to their private clinic, and somebody will be sitting somewhere saying solution is here. What nonsense. So I understand, I expect as a global personality to reform the public services, and a high flyer, and place the person at 300 or 400,000 naira salary. We won't take it unless perhaps people like us who are on good governance and advocacy, we'll be doing it for public interest and not for personal interest. So money doesn't matter and doesn't count.
And extended to Nigeria and beyond, all through Africa. I'm also to the Peters. Thank you very much for being part of the program tonight.
Yeah, well, thank you.
All right, that is it within the BC. And to you who are watching, thank you for watching this far, and I appreciate you for being part of the program. And we hope that you join us again on this program subsequently. As we move on, we hope